What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here. We are back with more Emberfell Whispers from the Stars. I'm, of course, your GM, your DM for the night, Jumbo Thick. We're joined by the full cast and crew, some of which are in disguise tonight. We'll get to that later. But let's do a brief introduction and let's get into it because we've got a lot of ground to cover, possibly, and some decisions to make. Let's start with Andrea.
Hi, I'm playing Zune, a Drow Bard.
Short and sweet. How about, the lovely Jumbo Smooth?
Yes, I play Rogar, son of Amu. He's a dragon-born barbarian. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Dan Decker.
I love how he's so modest. Not that Rogar's the only one who's survived, 190 episodes of this show. Regardless of that, I am playing Rezire, huh? He's an Azimar, huh? But he looks like a hobgoblin, but he's the most beautiful hobgoblin you will ever see.
One might say divine.
Indeed.
Hmm. How about DB209? Mid cough. Love it. I might be doing that myself tonight.
Ted, was there a Nick?
A little bit.
Wow. Oh, well, high elf, I'm wizard.
Time wizard. We got it. Then last but not least, this will be Kayla.
Hello, I play Velree. I look real cute tonight, therefore you get the cat. I am a Dampier barbarian. Yay.
Well, I appreciate you at least showing up. Thank you. So there we go. So, last we left off, the party of the White Scale Band had, through extreme endurance and panache, carved their way through House Zygium, the family home of Granel, or as we know them, Zoom. After doing so, you found yourselves detained by the Council of Ten, the leading bodies of law within the confines of Silver Dry. You were questioned on the slaughter that took place, not only within the household, but also without, as well as several other instances of things that have appeared throughout town, including the murder of a prevalent professor at the colleges within the Spire that also turned up butchered. You managed to profess your innocence, mostly due to the fact that you proffered up the diary of Yalbrina, the matron of the House Zygium, as well as Zoom's own mother, who turns out had some very interesting plans that were being set in place that you managed to thwart. Unfortunately, not in time to save Dayu's former wife, and of course, the lovely Dilva's mother that was inhabited by the spirit of Yalbrina before you ultimately destroyed it, scattering it into many, many thousands of spiders that mostly died. They appear to all have died. After the trial, and it wasn't so much a trial, it was more of a interrogation of sorts between all of you. You were cleared of most wrongdoings. However, there was a bit of a hiccup because while you were being detained originally, Quintel, or Zune, was taken away from the rest of you, led to an interrogation chamber where his father appeared. And his father, a member of the council, threatened him, telling him about how he ruined his life, had destroyed everything, had damned everyone to a future of insanity and madness, and then tried to stab him. Zune, being the hardened adventurer that he is, easily got foiled the attack, and then with but a whisper, exploded his father's head, killing him instantly, as he was but a normal man, and not a combatant of any kind. While he may have had a silver tongue, it was not enough to keep his brains within his gourd. As he was killed, Zune then tried to place the blame on the people jailing him, that it was their fault. It was a thing. Regardless, though, it took a lot of sweet talking. It was decided in the end that instead of you guys being proffered up as heroes of the town, they settled for a "we won't talk about this anymore" situation, and you guys were allowed to leave. One of those kinds of things. You are not kicked out of town, but the Zygium estate was collected by the state, repossessed, and Zune has lost all titles and anything that would tie him to his former nobility. He is but a humble bard adventurer once again. Regardless, though, all of you had during this kind of like downtime, you decided to stay at the where are you? The Dark and Dreary, the apothecary shop, run by Dinglath Therin, the very eccentric drow gentleman, potion maker, that had a bit of a sweet spot for one of your longtime companions, Nyarla. And while staying with him, the number of you doing various tasks throughout the city during your few weeks, maybe a month downtime that you've had here within Silver Durai, came up with several rumors. Not necessarily rumors, but also just information of things going on throughout the dynasty and beyond that may interest the White Scale Band in some way, shape, or form. Many of those threads being dangled. Ultimately, you had not made a formal decision. I believe you had it narrowed down to just a couple things that you were possibly looking at. You were given a map of the dynasty because you had questions about how to get here and there. One in particular that caught your fancy was the information you had uncovered about the meeting the pillars were having of the Mar. It was said to be in some kind of abandoned castle somewhere near Coda. The small-ish farming township that was mostly primarily made up of goblins that you were kind of informed about. And seeing as how it is quite a far distance, therein proffered up a possible means of traveling there quite quickly, as he knows someone within the Spire, a humble professor, that might be able to aid you in making that trip just a little bit faster. As Therodius Gumshoe, the professor of herbalism and many other things, was given as a possible means of traveling there quickly and efficiently, should you choose to do so. There were many other things that were on the agenda that you guys could look into. The world is your oyster. What would you guys like to do?
Well, there are only 3 heads of the Mar left, correct? That we're aware of.
If Yalbrina was the head of the Night Blossom clan, the Dream Weaver clan. If Yalbrina was the head, then yes, there would only be 3 other pillars left that you know of.
we were already on our way to Throtus Gumshoe, Professor Throtus Gumshoe, at the College of Wizardry.
Yes, the Cinderbane Tower.
Yes, the Cinderbane Tower.
Yes, the College of Magic.
Yes, College of Magic. And we were going to see if he could quickly get us to a fortress or close to it, a razor. I think it was close to a razor. Is that right?
It was close-ish to or razor.
Okay.
We'll see.
We didn't ask. We haven't asked yet, but I think that was our intention, was to see if he can get us there quickly.
Well, with Zune as your lead for sure, because this is where Zune went to school for his barding, his private education, one might say. Yeah. This is a very it's a school of for the rich and talented, one might say. They might give a scholarship out to a poor person every once in a while, but it's rare.
Nepotism.
It's exactly. You know what this place is. Exactly. You know what the society's built on. Regardless,
Zune's a self-made man, and I don't hear anything else.
Self-made man now. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He did it all himself.
Yeah.
I'm sure his family was not excited about him becoming a bard. It's kind of like when your son comes to you and says, "Hey, I'm going to be a DJ and explore my bisexual, tendencies," and then you're like, "Why do you want to be a DJ? I don't like this idea. I just sent you to school for 4 years." Regardless, though, you are on your way to. We'll say that you guys have already arrived at this point. Zune, did you want to do anything while you're here? You're just going to lead them straight towards the professor's office.
Is there anything of note that would even be worth seeking out here? Like walk into a room that's unoccupied and just like grab a bunch of diamond dust and walk out, that kind of thing, or
classes are in session.
Okay, maybe not
a lot, but also you would know that there are. This is a fortress, in all but name. It is very well protected, and while there are some normal guardsmen, for the most part, the guard of the spire are in fact graduates of the spire. So it would be ill-advised to be caught doing anything super dangerous here.
Then I guess we're just going to Professor Throtus Gumshoe. I can't think of anything else we should do.
Okay. Zune, I don't know, are you giving a tour as you go, or are you just kind of like...
Yeah, probably a kind of gross tour, like, what that room's used for, like, oh god, we don't want to talk about this, stay out of that hall. This one's kind of interesting. We can go down there if you guys have an hour to kill, but we don't, so...
You hear a very it's a very pitchy version of a basic barding tune coming from one of the hallways as well. Many other facets of magic. There's small explosions, so the halls rumble every once in a while, which nobody just goes about their way as if this is just normal behavior here within the spire. There is a towards the center of the spire. You would know of this soon. You don't necessarily have to take stairs to climb the tower. There's a portal-like disc in the center that you stand onto, and with enough practice, or if you are gifted enough, you can simply use your magical tendencies to make the disc float to whatever floor you need to.
I'm gonna ask Razire to do it, just to see how good he is. Explain the basics.
What do I have to do now?
Razire, give me a spell casting ability check to see if you can move the magical elevator to the floor you guys need to go to.
So my spell casting is my wisdom?
It's your wisdom.
Yeah. And so just a straight up wisdom roll.
Wisdom check, yes.
Yeah. Not a saving throw. But that's not bad.
22.
It's a 22.
Rosier.
It's child's play. We do this
funny.
trick on the streets.
It's funny. Well, you say that, Zune. Rosier kind of clutches the holy symbol of his.
I bring on a little,
of
sauce.
his lady, and as he does, the elevator begins to thrum, and then it just doesn't move.
What?
It just sits there.
That is all.
You feel the divine energy pulling out of him into the portal, but it appears to not quite connect the way it should.
Something else. It's a very strong hex.
You hear one of the guardsmen kind of like, you see the portal begins to smoke as there is energy building up in it. Hey, no, you can't use holy magic in there. What are you doing? Get out now!
Oh, this is awesome. Two times Zune just is like, just gonna fuck it up.
Are you guys staying in the elevator still?
I'm getting out of the elevator.
I think we should get out of the elevator.
What's happened again? Call the headmaster. The disc is like thrumming at this point. It is starting to turn red as the metal is heating up. Are you guys just going to like walk away, or maybe we're just gonna leave this as is?
I mean, would I even know how to fix it?
I mean,
not my problem.
This is the least of what Rogar has seen at this point. He's like, stuff breaks all the time. It's fine. It's fine.
Were you gonna say something, Trist? Nope. Trist didn't do two
lift
shits.
a simple elevator, go up the staircase.
You go to the stairs like a student. You walk over to the stairs and start stomping up them. There's a couple like freshmen. They look really like too small for their robes that they're in. Kind of like books and things falling down the stairs as you walk past them, Zune.
I want to walk on the wall next to them,
Okay. Velree, you begin to creepily walk along the wall.
Yes.
One of them, they kind of stop for a moment and they stare at you, but then they just shrug their shoulders and walk down the stairs as if even that is not completely unusual here. But weird enough, as all of you take the stairs up, it is going to be 20 stories that you need to climb. So I'm going to go ahead and need some endurance checks from all of you, aka Constitution checks, please.
You say, good sir, that you need a Constitution check.
Yes, please. That's on par for you, Trist. That's also on par for Rosier and Zune.
Yeah, that's fair.
Could I carry someone up the stairs?
That's too late now, Velree. You're not carrying anyone.
No.
Velree, you're walking on a wall, for God's sakes. Velree and Rogar are walking. Zune, Rosier, and Trist. By the time you get to the 20th floor, that's a lot of stairs. You get up to the 20th floor and you're just like, oh shit, you're sweating. Rogar and Velree just kind of like, they're going with it, they're fine. Rogar, you look back. Trist has fallen somewhere. Possibly him and Zune have just kind of like stopped somewhere, like maybe a floor down. Kind of sit there and you wait for them to like stumble their way up. Rosier, likewise, weighed down in his heavy armor. Just, oh, mon ami, as he slowly makes his way to the top. As this happens, Zune, Rosier, and Trist all are graced with a point of exhaustion. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. My gift from me to you. Velree and Rogar, you guys are standing up here.
I swear to God, you said from mean to you.
Yes.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
You dirty rat.
So, at the top of the stairs, while Velree and Rogar are waiting for the rest of their party to make their way up, you hear a small voice.
Ho, 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 ho! Oh, look at the stalks on that one.
And you see a small, dark-skinned gnome gentleman with a long, curling white beard, and it looks like he's looking Velree up and down.
Oh my.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Rogar. I'm like on the side of the wall. I'm just like looking down at him.
Oh, don't mind me, my fair lady. I am just but a humble gnome. What exactly brings you to this my gracious floor?
Was he addressing just Velree, or?
He was not looking at you at all, Rogar.
Okay.
And he's only about he's probably 2 feet tall.
That's great. Why do the short ones always go for me? I'm just. Well, how far away is Zune? Is he's within eyesight of us?
They are slowly. I'm not sure if they're on the hands yet, like climbing the stairs or not, but they're getting there eventually.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that we've come with a friend who wishes to see blah blah blah. What was the name of the professor?
You're here for, I don't know, a blah blah blah. I know several professors on the floor. I'm in fact the head of this very department. I might say I'm quite an important gentleman.
Oh, gumshoe, size of my shoe, right?
Okay. Well, wouldn't you know? That's me, Throdius Gumshoe, professor of the fine art of alchemy and potions and aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, of course.
Rogar steps in front of him. I've been studying alchemy, and I would enjoy a few.
Yes, young man. In due time, can't you? Damn it.
Damn it.
Zune, Zyre, Trist, you make it here at this point.
Fine. What can the Master of Herbs do for you? Perhaps we'll just go to my study. Come with me. Let's get out of the hall, and I have plenty of seats.
As he kind of looks up towards Velree again, if you'd like.
If I'd like.
No, or not. That's fine. He leads you down the hall to a. It looks like just a regular room. There are several rooms off this hallway. As he opens the door, it is like 10 times too big for what you would expect a office to look like when you walk inside. As you go into it, there is a way too large desk towards the center of the room. Most of the furniture appears to have been grown in place, almost druidic-like. And in addition to that, it smells like you are outside as soon as you walk into this room, but not like above. It smells like the Underdark, like a damp cave, essentially. And as you walk in, similar to how it is lit throughout some of Silver Dry, there are numerous fungi and mushrooms that are illuminating this room in different patterns and colors. There are a number of strange, bizarre plants just in different places around the room. there's a small garden of plants that are moving rather quickly, kind of like shifting around on themselves. And there is a more interesting is the fact that as he kind of like walks back around the large desk, he taps his foot, and you watch as his desk chair, which looks like a plant with a large flower, one of the arms just kind of like reaches down, picks him up from under his little feet, and then places him in his seat, and then returns to his chair-like position.
Yes. Well, what can Master Gumshoe do for you? Mostly fine gentlemen. Well, you have a strange collection of people here, indeed. Granel?
Yeah.
You graduated ages ago. What?
Yeah. I happen to be.
Are you finally coming back for your supplementary classes? I see.
Are those free supplementary classes, or do they cost money?
Well, of course they're not free, Granel. You know, your family are gracious donors.
My family is mostly dead right now, but
Oh.
yeah, it's a long story.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a really, really long story, but
a bit shut off from the rest of the world in here. You see, it's a thing. As you know, most of my time is dedicated to my students. You know, they.
Oh yeah, I recall. I'm gonna eye Velree. But anyway, yeah.
You know, I don't appreciate that tone, young man.
Excuse
However,
me, what tone?
You heard me. I heard that tone.
Tone. I don't have a tone.
There was a tone. I distinctly heard a tone.
There was not a tone. You always do this. God, you're so sensitive.
I want to touch a plant.
Ever since you failed herbalism, Velree, you go to touch a plant. Are you touching a brightly colored plant, or are you going to touch one of the waving plants?
The waving ones. I wanted the wave.
You move towards the waving plants, and Throdius is in a heated discussion with Zoom right now. Velree, as you reach out, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw, Velree.
Yeah. Okay. Advantage.
You do get advantage because you can see it happening.
Well, still not good.
An 11. I got to roll for that. I have to roll now. Yep. An 18 hits you, Velree. Does it not?
18 is on the money, so half.
Okay. As you reach out, you watch as they look almost like seaweed, kind of like moving, like almost as if they're in the water still, despite it not being. And as you put your hand out there to touch them, you begin to feel warm as they begin to brush against your arms. This is bizarre with the cat face, by the way. As they brush against your arms, and all of a sudden, you feel, before you realize it, you're not touching anything, and in fact, you watch as several of the stalks of this like seaweed-like grass has formed a jaw that then clamps onto your arm.
Oh.
Clamps, and you're going to take 6 points of piercing damage, and you are currently restrained as it is trying to eat you right now.
Awesome.
Do you make a noise or even flinch, Velree?
I will make an audible gasp, you know.
Throdius, as he's speaking to Zune, he looks like, "Oh, my dear!" And he takes out a little wand he has, and he kind of does a little gesture towards the plants. And as he does, the plant, it does in fact hit. A spell lances forward towards the plant that is trying to eat Velree right now. strikes it, and as it does, it flinches away and lets go, giving you enough time to remove your arm. Oh, my dear, are you all right?
Oh, it's just so pretty.
Oh, I must immediately apply some ointment. Oh, we'll finish this conversation in a minute. Granel, as he runs over very eagerly towards Velree. Oh, I must dress the wound, my dear. Let me see your hand.
I'll give him my hand.
Okay. He very kind of.
Is there a lot of blood?
There's barely any. It looks awful. It's like barely just a little. On you, it's like a little bite mark. If it was a normal person, they might have just got their arm ripped off.
Lick a thing of blood up before he does anything, you know.
Okay. Before I see. Well, let's try this. He takes out a little salve that he has. He has a oh man, what are those called? The old men wear them. Dad's satchel thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack. He has a fanny pack. He reaches into his fanny pack. Well, of course you want a fanny pack.
Fanny pack of holding.
Exactly. He has a fanny pack. He pulls out a salve that is rather sweet smelling, and begins to push it onto the wounds, Velree.
This is a bit of honey and nectar of the rather deadly shade flower, but when mixed appropriately.
And as he rubs that into the wound, Velree, you feel instant relief and numbing. And your point of exhaustion is also removed, Velree.
I didn't have no exhaustion.
Oh, you did not? Well, if you did, it would have been.
Good to know. Can I get some more of that?
You are also healed fully, because it heals way more than that. I'm sorry. This is my own custom blend. I don't have enough to just sell. You know, mostly I proffer things every once in a while for a rather eccentric merchant in the district, but we are of similar like mind. We still, young lady, you should not be just going around touching things willy-nilly. Herbalism can be quite dangerous. One of the most dangerous colleges within the very spire we sit in.
Oh, maybe you'll have to teach me some things.
I would love to teach you many things. All of my students call me a fun guy.
Oh, so funny.
Yes, I tend to grow on you.
Oh.
Yes.
That's cute.
You get it, right?
Oh, I get it.
Okay, good.
Pat him on the head.
There we go. We got a bit distracted there. What exactly were you looking for me for? Did something happen?
Told that you could help us get somewhere pretty quickly.
I'm not exactly a conjurer, if that's what you're asking. There are plenty of other individuals that do this. Who exactly said this?
Name? I don't remember. Oh, this guy. Oh, he's kind of a squirrely little guy. Who's that guy that's really sweet on you? What's his name again? We've only lived with him for a month. I feel kind of embarrassed I never asked.
Wait. No. Wrong one.
God. Oh my God.
Sorry, wrong potion shop.
You bastards.
All of you. I've got the notes.
I hate all of you.
Sorry, I think that just smiling every now and then just seals it. He's like...
He is the...
That's cute.
Owner of the Dark and Dreary.
Yeah, I'm the owner of the Dark and Dreary. He insisted that you were the one to go to for some quick travel.
Dingloth Daring?
That's the very
sounds about right.
That's the very gentleman I was speaking of. I procure strange oddities for him mostly because I enjoy his whimsical nature. He's such an interesting fella, is he not?
That's a word for it, absolutely.
Oh, indeed, we are of like mind. He's even so fortunate he's tried some of my concoctions. I try his. We do a bit of sharing of like minds.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I do see a lot of parallels in both of your personalities. That's actually very interesting.
Couldn't tell there may be hope for you yet. You still dumb as a rock, but someday. At this point he's like pacing along on top of his desk, like kicking some shit off the side of it and whatnot. So, what can Mr. Gumshoe do for you? Where exactly are you trying to go?
Razor.
I don't necessarily go that far south, but there are a few caves and systems near there that I have been known to frequent. It's one of the few places you can get devil grass. And of course, definitely one of the only places that I know of that you can find, son of a bitch. Damn it! Hold, please. This is actually important. God damn it. And of course I can't find it. I hate all of you right now. I gave you a hard time about not finding that name, and now I can't find the name of the damn plant. It is...
Live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
I know. Sky caps.
What exactly is devil grass used for? And what is
grass?
Sky caps? And Rogar pulls out a little notebook. Starts writing down devil grass.
Devil's grass is it is a grass that only grows in a place where fiendish blood is spilled. As you know, there was quite the unsavory things went down in the near Orazer in the distant past. They said a horde of demons and devils fought over the very land itself, destroyed one of the nearby domains. One of the former houses fell to ruin afterwards. There was nothing left. It was all a bloody hellscape, from what I understand. But it is now a plethora of devil grass root that just grows and grows and grows, no matter how much you harvest. It's one of the finest exports from that land. In addition to that, of course, the sky cap. It is only found within the cave system near there. It is a beautiful fungus of sensuous nature. The blues, the whites, the long, slender stalks. Oh, how it calls to me.
And this is an aphrodisiac.
In a way, they say that when mixed appropriately, it has oracle-like potential. I've heard that some of the more nefarious individuals have harvested it to make a drug, base terms out of it.
What does this drug do?
Well, they say it gives you visions of different realms.
Yeah, who would know something about that? How do you... How would that...
Three of you might know.
How exactly would one even make a drug out of that? You just eat it straight, or?
No, of course not. Of course not. It must be cut with several other plants, and then he will start rattling them off. As I'm assuming Rogar's just taking notes.
Yeah. Rogar's writing them down,
taking them all down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are these just common herbs that you would just find anywhere?
Of course not.
That?
Of course not. There's some more specialty in things, but if you know what you're looking for, you've been taking quite vigorous notes there, my young man. How did a scaled one such as you come to be here? I have never seen one of quite your pigment before.
It has been a long journey. He starts
Very
to speak
well.
of his spiel. Yeah. He just says, it's been a long journey.
Hey, man, a few words. I understand completely. I see that you are gifted in the intellect department. He kind of like thuds his where your piercing is.
Ring is. Yeah.
Yes.
We took it off of a giant.
Oh.
He had no more use for it.
I would assume not. Ghastly creatures they are. Giants.
But could you get us to this cave quickly?
Of course I could. I have a bit of my own special brew. Now you can't be talking about this to anyone. I'm only doing this because of the lovely lady here. So he kind of gives a little smirk towards Velree again. But I do have a means of rapid transportation when necessary.
We would like to use that if possible.
Of course. Now?
Is it something you can give us and we use our own?
Oh no! I must do this myself. You can't just do it on your own. It's much too complicated. You couldn't possibly. I would escort you, of course. Show you the cave, show you the sky cap.
Well.
Is it going to be dangerous?
Was Velree speaking?
Is it going to be dangerous?
It isn't. It can be, but when one is seasoned as myself, trivial.
Well, sorry.
You can call me Therodius. Therodius is fine.
Yeah. Mr. Yes, Mr.
And I didn't, I'm being quite rude here. I besides young Granel here, I don't know many of your names. I specifically this delicate flower over here. What is your name, young lady?
I don't know about delicate, but the name is Velree.
Talking to Trist.
Velree, I see. Yes. Oh, how beautiful! A maiden of the wood. And as he just stares at Velree, and you're the rest of you. Just go ahead.
I am Rogar.
Yes, indeed.
I am Messiah. Hello.
Of course you are. Yes.
Tristan, well, I'm the accountant of this party.
But did you say accountant?
The man.
Why do you need accountant?
Well, they have issues handled. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, I see. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but that's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. If I can aid you in any way, Velree, just let me know. I am the honor of the gumshoe is at your service. If I would whisk you away now, just let me. I am at your whim. I have classes, but they can be cancelled. I can drop them at a moment's notice.
I mean, is there any way you could at least teach us how to make some of that healing? What was it, like a solution or a powder that he put on you?
That is a very expensive and very complicated salve to create, young lady.
Is Gumshoe married?
No.
No. Okay.
Not.
Yeah.
No, he is the equivalent of the very strange, quirky history teacher that
always wants a hug. Like,
always
just
wants a
very
hug.
creepy.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I said, I guess I'm not worth your time then.
That is untrue. I don't have all the ingredients to even teach you how to do this.
Oh, well, could you?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Velree. It's obviously I mean, he's not. He doesn't value enough to even give you what he has. I mean, we should just
what
maybe.
do you mean? What I have? I am not I'm not an apothecary, for God's sakes. I'm just a humble college professor.
Humble, but just a few minutes ago you were saying you were marvelous and you could get us through the cave system, and now you're humble.
I can take you there. I can do that if that's what you wish.
I don't know, Velree, your call.
I mean, well, we'll at least get him to take us there. I mean, if he wants to, like, at least tell us how to make stuff, Rogar can write it down for later. I don't know.
I know it's been really hard with you being, recently unattached, and,
Yeah. I've been having to watch.
You've been looking for someone good.
Yeah, I had to watch my ex have sex with another woman right in front of me, essentially. It's fine.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's awful.
Oh, my Lord!
Don't worry about it, Professor Gumshoe. I mean, I know she's, Velree, you wouldn't be interested. She's really not your type, so you don't have to.
He's got like dark purplish cheeks. They are like freaking red now, bright beet red. His little gnome glasses have kind of shifted askew. Oh.
It's okay, Velree. I mean, I know you kind of like shorter guys, but I mean, obviously this one's not worth the time. Let's just,
Yeah, you're right.
It's okay. You'll find someone that's worthy of you. You'll find someone that's completely worth it, someone who values you, someone who will give you the moon.
I wish I had someone like you.
Oh, God.
At this point, you guys hear you feel the entire spire shake. As it does, several of the books, like way worse than any of the other things you've felt so far. Several of the books move and fling. Several of the plants kind of like fall over.
Oh dear God! It's happening! They've come for us!
As he like dives underneath the table.
Oh, what are you doing? Hide! Hide!
Who's coming for us? I'm gonna hide, but who's coming for us?
I always knew this day would come. The deep ones have come. The deep drow. They're here.
Well, I mean, really that scary?
Here, there's a almost like a PA, kind of like clicks on. Please disregard. Somebody tampered with the main elevator. It has been taken care of. Continue classes as normal. And then it closes.
Professor.
I
peek under the desk.
Wasn't worried at all as he straightens his little get up, combs his beard out.
How quickly can you? How far is this cave system from Orazer?
Perhaps a couple hours, maybe.
And you usually stay here at the tower.
Oh yes. I only sleep here. I could not. I mean, look, my bed's over there.
You look over, and there is literally there's like a bed recessed into one of the walls. As he like waves his hand, these plants that were covering it kind of move to the side. As he does, he looks towards Velree and gives her a wink, and the bed begins to spin.
Oh yeah, that's what the other students would call extra credit. Well, I think it's time to. Yeah, let's just leave now. This room it smells like a lot of things that are familiar, but I don't like them right now in this context.
Question, friends, before we take the good professor up on his travel. Should we head deeper into the Underdark and find out what's happening to, I guess they mentioned some Dark Marshal. Perhaps deal with these deep drow that the professor seems to be so afraid of.
So I do have a question about that. With the deep drow, would Zune, what would Zune know about that if his mom had dealings with them?
Well, your mother essentially was the informant for the deep drow to keep tabs on Silver Durai. She was like the person. One might say that without her being there anymore, perhaps they're moving from a more overt type of aggression to a much more just aggression, perhaps. And that might be what is starting to happen.
Yeah. Rogar, why do you have to have a moral compass? Okay, yeah, we could, Professor, could you get us there to the deep drow? Not the deep drow, to the area that the deep drow are in?
Hell no!
Could you point us in that direction?
In 9 hells, I'll never set foot near there. But if you wish to see the caves...
What was that, Velree?
Did we vote on what we're trying to do here now?
Yeah, that's fine.
What benefit do we get from it? We're just going to kill.
Whoa.
Well, I guess, we'd earn, points with the drow community, perhaps earn some allies. Just saying.
I think we're in a deficit right now.
There's a deep dragon down there that we've also been tasked with killing.
Is this like
a magical sword, and possibly Rogar some lovin'.
What about Velree? Velree wants lovin' too.
Maybe you can woo the dragon.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Velree's lovin' was spread up on a rotating bed.
That's true.
I don't want short. Damn it.
Professor Gumshoe, maybe he's gifted where he needs to be.
Maybe exactly. Maybe he's a stallion. You don't know. I mean, but
What's soon?
Who's dead?
No, who's the lead?
You killed him. But yeah, I'm sure we gained some, experience in honing our skills, slaughtering the drow.
Let's do what Rogar says.
You don't have to. This is my ask.
Have about a week, right? So we have a week.
You have at least a week, yes.
It would be kind of funny though, since they come from different areas, if we just went to their home turf and just obliterated everything and just let them come back to nothing. But that might not be worth it. I don't know. Okay, Rogar. You make
it's up to you. This is a question.
How would we go about it? Would we just go in, swords everywhere? Or would we actually try to be covert about this?
I mean, I would assume we would try to find some sort of map or guide to head down into the Underdark. And we would probably try to be stealthy, but we know who we are.
That's
and
true.
We would probably just resort to shock and awe.
Then, how quickly do we want to do this? Do we want to stock up on healing or anything, since, the professor doesn't have the ability to make a decent supply of healing salve or anything like that? He's not very interested in Velree, which we've established, and it's fine.
That's completely untrue.
But it's okay.
Were you not just telling me that you were living at the apothecary's house? And you can't get healing potions?
Well,
what has happened over there?
Well, I mean, haven't you been over there recently?
No, it's been a little while since he's paid me a visit. Honestly, it's almost as if he's been enamored with someone else.
Do you two have that kind of relationship? I'm sorry, I misunderstood you,
Ah,
Professor.
couldn't
I
tell.
misunderstood you. What? I mean, usually have a pretty
No.
good understanding
dare
of
you.
who. How dare what?
How
What's your problem with
dare
that?
you?
How
we
dare
have
you?
a very cordial business relationship.
A business relationship? No, I understand that. I went to, oh God, what was it? That town that's by the river? No, the sea. It's amazing. But anyway, don't worry about it, Professor. You don't have to explain yourself to me. Sorry, Velree. He's not interested, clearly.
This
Okay.
is poppycock. I've had enough of you. You have been nothing but trouble since you were expelled.
This is, I wish I could fight that, but I have been nothing but trouble since I was expelled. It's fine. It's fine, Professor. It's okay. Velree understands. It's okay.
It's definitely fine. I have someone coming by to do some after school hours. I need the rest of you to leave. Velree, if you'd like to stay, you can stay. The rest of you can go, though.
Yeah, let's go do the caves, Rogar. Let's go to the caves.
Velree, if you ever need me to take you somewhere, I'm available anytime.
Oh, thank you. So gracious.
Of course. Here's my card. And he hands you a card. He has a card.
It's cute.
A card. It says Thordius Gumshoe, Esquire. It's got like a little plant leaf kind of embroidered on it.
Class hours on it.
It says I'm a fun guy on it.
It's so cute.
With some
and
little
he wasn't
mushroom
such
caps.
A predator.
And he hands it to you, Velree.
I'll take it. Is there any way to if I need to get in contact with him, is there a phone number on there?
Well, if you
Comes with a little pebble that you can just call him through.
if you hold it close to your heart, you can speak to me anytime you want.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you.
Of course, my delicate stock. You must leave my sight. I need some. I need to. The old ticker. I need to get ready for my students.
Your extra credit. Got it. All right, let's go. On the staircase.
The five of you begin to leave the room. You watch as it looks like class is about to get out. Several of the rooms open up, spilling out mostly drow. You do see the odd half drow here and there, but you also see a number of dragonborn, as well as there are quite a few hobgoblin that you see in here as well. Probably wealthy, come from wealthy families, very well dressed and mannered. As they spill out into the halls, begin to move around in a bit, you kind of fall into the crowds, and you are able to leave the Cinderbane Tower unmolested. As you are leaving out the front doors, you do notice that there is a shimmering barrier that has been set up around the main elevator that is currently out of service and looks like it will be for quite some time. As there is a gaping hole and char marks along most of the main floor here, where it exploded while you guys just took your time.
So many problems could be solved if they just put up a sign, hey, magic does not work here, huh? It'd just be simpler for them, probably.
As you guys are leaving, the guard kind of looks over and hears Rosier speaking, goes, I think that's the priest man that did this.
Oh no! It was not
several of the teachers.
Let's just go.
There's the headmaster's just like smacking his head, like, oh, but it's so out. And then society just, oh, mon ami, and you guys run out the door. Are you
So the rumors that you guys had heard about the Dark Marshal
Mhm.
were pointing you towards the below section of the city. If you remember the way the underside of Silver Durai was described, it's on like a slope downwards, and if you once you get all the way to the downward side, there were these tunnels outside of the large wall, the barrier wall, outside of the barracks. And if one were to perhaps look for a marshal, they might want to start at the barracks.
All right, that's where we're going. We might. Yeah, that's where we're going. That's where we're going.
Okay.
While we're on our way, I'd like to kind of flip through the book a bit and see if I can find any references to any plans regarding this name. Because I imagine if she was deep in all this shit and she was silly enough to put everything, all of her secret plans in writing together.
Give me history check, Zune. Let's see how well you retain information.
I do not retain information well.
Probably not well.
Let's see. History. That is not what I want. There we go. So history is probably going to be bad. But I can use my luck. I'm going to use my luck as YOLO.
Oh, yeah.
Let's 21
instead. Okay. So you have references to the Dark Marshal, mostly because there's a section of the diary that mentions possible obstacles in the way of the matron assuming her final form. One of them was the Dark Marshal, who, hold please, who is known as Valentis Zol. Some call him just Dark Marshal Valentis if they're familiar with him, but for the most part, Dark Marshal Zol. He is described as a full-blooded drow man. He is heavily muscled, and he is known to be a master ranger and leader of the Deep Delvers. The Deep Delvers are essentially the scouts of Silver Durai. They're responsible for keeping the trade routes through the Underdark as safe as possible, with one of the few routes that leads towards, that goes below the Thundering Summits and pops out near the Iron Fortress. Specifically, one of the few remaining dwarven townships that is within the dynasty, known as the Mines of Narfu. So there is actually a route through the Underdark from Silver Durai that can get you to the Mines of Narfu. With the Narfu clan. So they are in charge of protecting that route, as well as ensuring that the number of outposts and, of course, the many what do they call them? Anchors. The anchors are those kind of like arcane devices you saw in the below section that are shoved into the actual cave wall that the entire city's within. The cave system the city's in. There are these devices. They are arcanely powered, and they appear to use the raw ember that can be harvested from around all of Draelora and Emberfell in general to power them. And it is described that they, through some way, not many people know how, some way they are able to stabilize parts of the Underdark. Because let's just say that the Underdark itself has been known to move and shift as if it is a living creature occasionally. And these devices keep them in place.
I will communicate all of this to everyone else. Just what little I know.
There's also references, Zune, I can't believe you rolled that well. There are references to a outpost for the Deep Drow. I don't know how you rolled that this well. Called Klesari. And Trist, through Tristan Varel's studies, if you mentioned the name Klesari, Trist, you would know that this is an ancient, like, mythological city for the elves in general, as this is supposedly the place that the elves first crossed into this plane.
We don't know this, though. Only Tristan knows.
Trist would know through all of his various studies, and this has been lost to time. No one knows if it even exists. There's been rumors of it for generations at this point. Something that happened hundreds of thousands of years ago.
That place is not real.
He says it's not real.
This is not real.
I mean, like, maybe it's a namesake?
I'll be surprised to find this place. There is much more at stake.
Yeah, there's a lot at stake, but it kind of seems to be at stake everywhere. I don't know. So, okay, let's show of hands. Who wants to do what? Go down into hell, basically, and get a bunch of ingredients for drugs. Go fight the head of the Mar. I don't remember what the third thing was because I have poor retention, but I feel like there was a third thing. But who wants to do what? I'm actually game for either thing at this point.
There was a lot of options that we were given.
Yeah.
We were given Deep Drow, Mar. We were also given mysterious mist coming onto the east coast of the dynasty.
That's true.
Don't know what's going on there. The Iron Fortress is under siege by barbarians in the north.
Mm-hmm.
And the dunes to the south. They have lost contact with the border towns and fortresses down there. So we don't know what's going on south. But yeah, those were the options we were given.
Well, how about this? We could run down and see if this town exists, and if we run into any trouble, we can just sort of, back up here. And then continue from there. I mean, like, if it takes too long. But I mean, it just sounds like this, what's his name? This Marshall, he really sounds like he needs our help, and I really think we should save him. I'm feeling very altruistic right now. I think we should I think he'll be very grateful.
I'm sure he will.
No personal motive at all.
Nope.
No. All the sexy bits out.
Oh boy.
All the five of us expected to hold back a Deep Drow in.
You didn't ask. You're not exactly sure
We
what's
were on our
expected
way.
of you. You guys were on your
we
way.
were on our way to the barracks to discuss heading down to explore the Underdark.
Make it down to the edge of the city near the kind of like barracks quarter, and there's a fair number of soldiers even about now being ordered to and fro. As you make it down to the section, you see a familiar face. In particular, you see the commander of the above garrison, Vonria Devala, who's had a bit of a promotion, and she's now the commander of the below after everything that has happened in the most recent past.
He loves us. This is great.
She is currently you can see that she just looks exhausted. As you guys are kind of moving towards her, she's giving orders to and fro. There are people coming to her with missives, and she's in what looks like almost like a tent set up. There are several other tents set up as well with other people doing different coordinating tasks. Looks like they are gathering materials for something. As she is reading a new missive that's been handed to her scroll, she looks up, sees all of you, pretends she doesn't see you, and looks back at her missive.
Fancy seeing you here.
Ah,
You look so professional. You look so on top of things.
she rolls her missive back up, places it down. Granel. Excuse me, Zoom. You are no longer Granel, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
What in all of the Dark Mother's infinite glory can I do for you?
Mother, you shouldn't talk like that out loud down here. But I hear that that's frowned on. But anyway, tell her, Rogar.
We are on the hunt of a deep dragon. In addition, we heard that you are missing a dark marshal.
The deep dragon. Well, you're a little late on that one.
Oh, someone slain.
So, let me get this straight. You are willing to look for the marshal? The 5 of you?
Yes.
At least 2 of us are.
What about that one? She points towards Nyarla.
She will be staying at the apothecary's here.
I'm sorry, poor Nyarla.
Good choice. Okay. Good choice. And you are willingly doing this. You're willing to go down there.
We've heard of some ancient city, perhaps, that we could find. I don't know.
I don't know anything about no ancient city, but you don't know what I've been doing. I've been trying to conscript troops to go down there after the scouts. We've lost complete contact with them. We had nothing until just about an hour ago. A group came back from the marshal's party. Unfortunately, the marshal is not with them. But he apparently, the last time they saw him, he was alive. I've been trying to gather some people to go bring him back because he is very much needed at his station. I do not enjoy this work. Zune, I would much prefer to be doing my normal duties, but the passes must be guarded, and who knew that when the marshal disappeared, the commander of the below garrison had to assume 2 duties.
Yeah. Well, you look like you're doing a great job. You know, I don't even think we should really go get him. I mean, why take away from what you're going through right now?
I feel like you already signed up for it, and your word is your bond.
No, if you knew me, you'd know that's not true. But, okay, well, I have a question. So his whole group came up unscathed, but he's gone?
No.
Okay.
That's hilarious. No, they're all pretty much dead from what I understand. There's a small group of them over there. The marshal and a handful disappeared. You see the ones over there? The one, he's missing the arm. The other one's missing both of his legs. You need to go talk to them.
Can you send a group with us? You said you're trying to gather people. Maybe.
Nobody will go. I am so excited that you volunteered for this operation. I was about to have to conscript people to go down there. That's how bad this was. Oh, you have got me out of quite the bind.
Absolutely.
I am so glad that you could do this. And then you know what, Zune? I will put in a good word in the council for you. I will do this for you. If you
Perhaps
do-
Zune could. Perhaps if we save the Stark Marshal and perhaps blunt the attack of these deep drow.
Who said anything about
his...
an attack?
Well,
Who's been speaking about drow attacks?
Well, maybe the dismembered people over there and the missing marshal. I mean, it's not too hard to assume. What else is down there? I mean, the boogeyman.
Xanthar! And this like broken,
Xanthar in trouble.
withered-looking man kind of like stumbles up. Yes, my lady. Slaps the shit out of him. She draws her sword and points it down at his throat, puts it under his chin. Have you been blabbing? No, my lady, I swear. Several of the other guards are kind of like looking over at her. She looks a little crazed in the moment. All of you, this is of the utmost secrecy. I will hear no more treachery within this garrison.
Maybe don't yell it so loudly, Commander. I mean that in the most respectful way.
Yes, Commander. Yes. As you were. She turns around, sheathes her blade. Xanthor kind of sits up. Take them to the refugees. Introduce them to the three that got him out. They should like him. Adventurers.
Perhaps you could put in a good word for Quintel in perhaps restoring some of his titles and holdings.
You can even keep the titles and just give me the holdings. I mean, let's not get too crazy here.
I tell you what. You bring back the Dark Marshal alive, and we'll talk.
If we bring him back alive, and then, or what if we bring him back dead and then resurrect?
I don't know how familiar you are with resurrecting people. It's not an easy task, to say the least.
It's also
I know
a
a guy.
measure of last resort. It does not always go as you intend.
If you can bring the Dark Marshal back...
You have to come back as a drow.
Yes. What? I don't have time for your buffoonery any longer. If you are going to help, go help. I have plenty of things to do.
All right.
Very well. We also need plenty of provisions. I assume you have plenty of health potions.
Xanthor, just handle it. Yes, my lady. Yes, my lady. This way. As he quickly tries to gather you and lead you towards the other individuals. Perfect that Dan just left in this moment. This is going to be great. As you move over towards the as you are moved towards the two individuals that you were pointed to that were in a dismembered state, you see there are three others kind of standing nearby that look more that first off, what immediately sets you off about them is that the three standing are not drow at all. One of them is a head cleanly shaved, tall, fair-skinned, almost looked like a half-elf, but heavily muscled. Extremely heavily muscled, wearing heavy armor, specifically a large breastplate. His arms are exposed. These nice, almost like silver-lined with like gold finery, greaves and gauntlets. There's a menacing-looking axe on his back that has an eye in the center of it that appears that may or may not be able to be like moving occasionally. The blades of the double-headed axe look like teeth, and Rogar, they look like dragon teeth, specifically. As he turns around, his eyes glow with a blue, almost, one might say, divine light. The two with him, one of them is a red dragonborn with horns that almost like crust back into almost a, they kind of look like dreadlocks down her back. with a bow and two swords on her hips. And strangely enough, there appears to be some kind of humanoid made of, looks like metal and wood, with some kind of gem set into its forehead that is glowing with kind of like yellow and red light. Its eyes glowing the same color. As the three of them turn towards you, the symbol etched onto the breastplate, Razire, is that of the Oracle of Blades. The gentleman looks towards you, Razire.
Oh,
He says,
a fellow acolyte, huh?
Razire.
Oh, yes. Huh?
He draws his axe.
Oh,
Surely you've heard of Paladin. And he darts forward. And that's where we're going to take our first break.
oh, a challenge has been issued, huh?